Yo, this is WSoul13 bringing you Raid Shadow Legends. And today we are going to be doing our fusion plan for the new guy, Lonatharil, right? So this is going to be a hybrid fusion event. It's going to be a combination of fragments and the classic fusion style, which is you're gonna fuse epics with fragments, and the epics are gonna be fused into the legendary, right? So any of the epics worth it? Is the legendary worth it? And how costly are these kinds of events? So let's break down cost first. That is the most important part of making your decision when it comes to participating in events like this and kind of like gauging what you're gonna get for it. So for these like hybrid fusions, these are the most cost-heavy kinds of fusion in Raid, because not only do you need to come up with the ascension potions and the food to take your epics up to 50, right, and 5-star ascension them, you have to play all the events. Usually that's how it breaks down. I'm not sure exactly if any of them can be skipped. We'll have to check. But in general, how these things work out is you're going to play every event and you're going to play both summon events to their max points for fragments for both summon events. Usually that's how they do it. Let's see, let's count, alright? Because they can be really sneaky how they divide up the fragments for the epics, where it could be over 100. But if you miss Summon Rush or Champ Chase, you're not going to make it to 100 for that particular epic. So that is a thing. And they did that with Demitha. They did that with Brogni. I expect they're going to do the same thing here, right? So Demitha and Brogni, obviously, they're like extremely amazing champs. Thing with Demitha, even though she was the epic, she was walled behind the summon events. So you had to play the summon events to get Demitha. So they were cost about the same as Brogni, somewhere around 5,500 points-ish for each of them, right? Demitha and Brogni. I know Hell Hades mentioned that Demitha was in the Brogni fusion. That's not true. Demitha was in the Sigmund fusion, right? I remember that because there was this argument within the community of how if you already have an unkillable team, Sigmund would have been better. But then we've seen that Demitha actually gets to a 1 key a little bit easier than the other unkillable comps. So picking Demitha there, even if you did have a unkillable team, which kind of I espouse for to try to get Demitha anyway, even if you had the unkillable team online, just because of like opening up options for you somewhere else in the game that Demitha can do that, not just in clan boss, but at the same time, like there was just so much potential in Demitha when Demitha came out, and it was kind of obvious to me that the potential was there, you know. And the bigger brains in Raid, they were able to break Demitha basically and turn her into a pretty solid 1-key composition for Ultra Nightmare Clan Boss. So here we go. For Summon Rush, so these are the two things you have to look out for. Summon Rush and Champ Chase. Summon Rush, they want Wuji and Carlinia. And then for Champ Chase, Wuji and Carlinia again. 20 for each. And then plus 10 if you get score first or second, I think. So 20 for each, 25 for each, so that will be 45 fragments. Now we need to count the other Carlinia and Wuji fragments available from all the other events, because frankly counting up the other champs isn't going to make a difference, because most likely you are going to need to play every single event, right? So I'm not going to put in the effort right now to count up every single epic, but we will count up the Champ Chase and Summon Rush epics, right? So the Summon epics, those are definitely worth counting out. So let's start with Wuji first. So we got 15 for Champ Training, 15 for Dungeon Diver, so that's 30, 20 for Artifact Enhancement, so that's 50, 20 for Ice Golem, that's 70. Yep. They did it again. They did it again. Because now, in order to get the 30, you either have to place first or second in Champ Chase. Immediately place first and second in Champ Chase. Or you need to do both Champ Chase and Summon Rush, unfortunately. Because if you just do Summon Rush, you're at 25, you're not going to make it. Right? So we have 70 floating fragments outside of Summon Rush and Champ Chase. You need 30 to get your 100. So this is the exact same thing they did with Brogni and Dimitha, right? So you're going to be short 5 fragments, unfortunately. You could either try to get first and second place with Ice Golem, right? To get your extra 5, Summon Rush and then Ice Golem. Or you get first and second place with Champ Chase. You know, very hard to do. Both are really hard to do. You're better off just actually, if you really, really want any of these 2 epics or Lonatharil himself, you gotta go for both events. Unfortunately, that's what it looks like. For posterity's sake, we're gonna count out Carolina as well. I assume it's gonna be the same thing, or maybe Carolina is the less sought after epic. I haven't seen the epics yet, so we'll find out right now. So Carolina, right? Where is she at? Fire Knight 20. Huh? Let's do it again. Let's go from the top. Sorry. So there's 20 in Champ Training for Carolina, 15 for Dungeon Diver, so that's 35. 15 for another Dungeon Diver, so that would be 50. And then 20 for not Champ Chase. Another one. 20 for Fire Knight, and that's it. So unfortunately, they're doing the same thing for Carolina and Wuji. So if you want either of those epics, you're going to have to play both summon events, and there's no way to pocket duplicates. So that's kind of like the downsides of this hybrid fusion. You cannot pocket duplicates of the epics. So you really have to choose between one of the epics or all of the epics versus the legendary, right? So that's basically it. The cost seems really steep. We'll find out tomorrow exactly how they price this thing and how they rank Lonatharil in terms of like how premium of a get he is for a fusion champ. Like, it's gonna be tough to follow up Helicat if we're just gonna be real here, yo. Right? So let's see if they can top Helicat or not. Right? Let's see. So we're gonna go to the fusion event, and we're gonna go through the epics real quick, and then we're gonna go through Lonatharil. And I'll write up my fusion guide for Reddit maybe later, and I'll probably get it out tonight before midnight. We'll see. We'll see. I'm a little bit busy, right? Also, I'm gonna tell you up front right now, it's gonna be Sacred 2X and Champ Chase, the worst possible combination for Champ Chase. You could literally go 10 Sacreds deep and not pull a single legendary, which means to get to the 2,500 points, which they've been asking for Champ Chase to get the top fragments there, you're gonna have to go 10 Sacreds deep, unless you got really, really, really lucky, you know, and you've saved up a lot of fragment summons or mystery shards, right? Sometimes you're gonna have to finish it off with ancient shards, and you're gonna open them without 10x and without 2x, unfortunately. We'll see tomorrow. All right, so as of right now, that is unfortunate, because Sacred 2x and Champ Chase are the worst possible combination. If this was Summon Rush, that would be a great time, because you're looking at 7 Sacred Shards to get to the 3,500 points for the top of Summon Rush, plus you have 2x on for that entire 7 fragments. That's pretty good value. Fortunately, that's not the case. You may have to look at 17 Sacred Shards, to get through this event. Maybe. We'll see tomorrow, okay? But as of right now, that's what it looks like. So, Anchorite. He is the first, he or she? It's a he. An old guy. Old he. Alright, what does this guy do? Attacks, okay, AoE. Heals ally on lowest HP 10%. Alright. 10% damage inflicted. Not that great, but you know, not bad. You got free heal on the A1. A2 is 5 turn cooldown, books down to 2 turn cooldown, removes 1 random debuff from all allies, increases the duration of all ally buffs 1 turn. So it's a buff extension, and that also removes a random debuff. This is good for clan boss. This cleanses the stun. You could also get this to cleanse off the slow from spirit affinity. So this is pretty good for clan boss in my opinion. Alright, so that right there good for clan boss. And then you get increased creep rate, increased crit damage for 2 turns on a 4 turn cooldown, unfortunately. That's unfortunate right there. That really is unfortunate right there. I wish this was a 3 turn cooldown. Yeah, so it would be like a slam dunk for clan boss, but unfortunately you may have to run this guy 4-3 to get the increased crit rate, increased crit damage for at least 2 rounds consistently. For every 3 rounds of the clan boss. I don't know. It feels like a bad skill right there. It could have been good, but you know, it just kind of feels bad. So it's a heal, a small heal. AoE, you can put stun set. I mean, that's pretty good. And then you get the buff extension, and then remove random debuff. So the remove random debuff is pretty good actually. That works great for clan boss plus the buff extension. So you could do a thing where he does this first, right? So you can have him go 191 or something, just always going first. And on the first turn, he's gonna do his little, I guess, increased crit rate, increased crit damage skill, and then you can extend that. I don't know, it just doesn't make sense because this is not a 3 turn cooldown, unfortunately, when booked out. That would have been pretty decent, honestly. So you get 30% crit rate, 30% crit damage. That's not bad for clan boss, honestly. It could have been really good. But unfortunately, it is not that good. And that is one of the less premium epics, right? So that, I think you can grab that without breaking shards open. So even if you're a new player, you should think about getting that guy, getting Anchorite, because you can't get him without breaking shards open, okay? Think about it. So the other, let's say, less premium epic, right, is Yelagurna. So it's going to be Orc. A1 is 1 enemy twice, 50% increased attack on this champion if this attack kills an enemy. Not great. Not great at all. The A2 is a AoE, 75%, books up to 100%, decreased attack. Okay. Again, not great, but books down 3 turn cooldown, books up to 100% chance. So, you know, could be a clan boss decrease attack champ, honestly. So that's not terrible, but not great. And then finally, attacks 1 enemy, place block buff, and block active skills for 2 turns. This attack is always critical. 3 turn cooldown, 100% chance when booked. Revives random ally 50% HP every time this champ kills an enemy. Not great. Again, kills an enemy is pretty hard to do, even in faction wars. Ally attack and faction grips. So not great in faction wars. Clan boss, I mean, you get decreased attack. If you're super hard up for a decreased attack, this could be it. Unfortunately, the A3 is not really a good clan boss skill. So that's kind of unfortunate right there. If this was something like decreased defense, weaken, even buffs would have been good here. But block buffs and block active skills are not really what you want in clan boss. And then it's not AoE as well, so it's not really that good for Hydra. Although you could probably have her target the Head of Torment with the block buffs. So he won't put the buffs on himself, so when he spreads, he's not going to spread buffs. I think that's how it works, right? And then AoE decrease attack is kind of always good in Hydra anyway. So could be decent for Hydra, but not great. minimally okay for clan boss to get that decreased attack, but also not great there. So right off the bat, the two epics that we can get are kind of like halfway to being decent. Unfortunately, they're not the best, or not even like tier A, tier B type champs. Unfortunately, so let's take a look. Let's take a look at the first premium epic, Wuji. What does she do? Epic attack champ. Attacks one enemy, 30% chance of placing a weaken for 2 turns. Will attack all enemies instead of one when counter attacking. Oh, cool. So counter attack turns this into an AoE. That's pretty good. That's really cool. Attacks all enemies, 55% chance of placing block buffs. 55% chance. And it books up to, what is this? 80%? 75%. Oh man, why couldn't they just take this up to 100? And it's a 4-turn cooldown, unfortunately, so she's gonna have to run 4-3. Ah man, I mean in Hydra, that's pretty hard to do in Hydra. So, unfortunate there. And then you get the counter attack and the Veil here, books down to 3-turn cooldown. No extra turn though, 2-turn duration only. Darn. Could have been good, I think. It could have been really good. So, Toxic set could be possible here, right? You can put on the counter attack and the perfect veil, which means you're gonna like have built-in protection, and then you're gonna AoE with your Toxic set. That's actually not bad. And then you can put the AoE block buffs on. Unfortunately, it's not 100%. Even with Sniper, I think it's like 80%, right? That's 15, 20, 55, that's 75, plus 5, 80%, yeah. So close to being very brilliant. So Raid, as I've seen so far, is last year, they brought a lot of power to the epics. Like, almost an insane amount of power to the epics, right? So we had Geo, we had Deacon, so many good epics last year. We had Ugo, what's that other one that was soloing everything? Eurogrim, you know? I think last year was a great year for epics and fusion champs, you know? This year is kind of like we had maybe one absolute S plus fusion champ. The guaranteed chance for Sacred this year was amazing, except for Ragash, right? So let's take a look at Carolina. So she is the last premium epic. A1 is an HP burn. One enemy. Not great. Not great. But you know, HP burn is so good in this game that even having it on an A1 as an option is kind of decent, honestly. I mean, it's not great, but it's decent. Attacks all enemies, 5% of placing decreased attack. Cannot be resisted if under HP burn, okay? 55% chance, books up to, doing it again, 75% chance. It's a 3-turn cooldown, which is great, but 75% chance, man, they're kind of getting hung up on that. And they're giving us the lower form of Strengthen on this one. Decreased duration of all debuffs on all allies by 1 turn. Strengthen for 2 turns. Buff cannot be removed or stolen, but it's the lesser version of Strengthen. And it's a 4-turn cooldown, book down. A little bit unfortunate. Every time an enemy under HP burn debuff gets a turn, decrease the duration of 2 random buffs on that enemy by 1 turn. This could be decent in Hydra. Resist all battles 35. So the epics are not great. They're not great at all. Neither of these epics are worth going to the top of Champ Chase or Summon Rush, in my opinion. I feel like in terms of the cost, the first epic was the most decent one for the cost. So I'm looking at Anchorite right here because he's got the buff duration increase and the crit rate, crit damage. I mean, is this better than Valerie? You know, because this has a heal and this can actually take buffs away instead of just lower the buff. So it makes you affinity friendly. I don't know. I feel like Valerie is almost as good. You're just not affinity friendly in Clan Boss, but she is almost as good and she's a free champ. So of the four, I'd say that one was the most kind of like useful for the cost. And then Yella Germa is the, who is this lady? This is the 100% decrease attack lady. So this could be a decrease attack champ. I mean, if you're really desperate early in the game, maybe. So main event, let's go to Lonatharil. So hard to say these Elvish names, man. Okay, so what's up? What's up with this dude? Let's see. A1, attacks on enemy, decrease target max HP, shield buff, 10% of max HP on ally with the lowest HP. So this might be, depending when the shield triggers for Scarab King, this could be a solo champ for Scarab King. Yeah, I feel like this could be a solo champ for Scarab King. Is it the right affinity? Force. I think one of the Scarab Kings is Spirit, right? I'm not sure. I know it's neutral for one of the affinities for Scarab King. And then attacks all enemies, place a shield buff on all allies for 3 turns. If there are any dead allies, the shield buff is 30% instead and cannot be removed or transferred, stolen, whatever. 3-turn cooldown. So this does the miscreated monster thing, which is 3-turn duration, 3-turn cooldown. So that covers you for Scarab King, which is good. And then this is crit damage on all allies 2 turns, 4-turn cooldown. Again with a 4-turn cooldown on this. And then all allies attack a single enemy. I wish this was a 3-turn cooldown, for real. So you can run him 4-3 in Clan Boss, you know. And you get some shields, you get ally attack. It could be good for Helicath, to be honest. Because, you know, getting ally attack for your Helicath comps is actually not bad. 20% more damage against targets under shield debuff. So, shield buff. So that doesn't really do anything. Except for Arena, and then you get shields every time with A1. Scarab King champ, not really mandatory per se. You can get Templar to solo Scarab King all the way up to hard with a shield accessory. You need a blood shield accessory, unfortunately. So that's kind of hard to get to on the exact faction that you want. Plus also rolling the good stats that you want for a Templar solo for Bomel as well. So it's kind of like, for Bomel you'll have to take that off because the buffs kind of make Bomel harder to do. And then, so could be a champ to carry you through Scarab King, either as a solo or as a team. Could be good for Clan Boss, especially the ally attack with Helicath. That's a lot of could be's. But is he? You know, is he somebody worth 5,500 points of fragment summons? I mean, like shard events. No. Like straight up, it feels like a no right now, unfortunately. Very unfortunate, because it's an all allies ally attack, which is pretty strong. Like if you think about Hydra Boss, think about Clan Boss. So for people kind of like looking forward and thinking about Hydra now, it seems very strong in my opinion. Because even if they end up stealing a shield from you every now and then, you're going to deal a little bit more damage. I'm not sure if it's just him though. I wish it was everybody instead. Yeah, if ever there was a thing here. I wish this said all allies inflict 24% more damage against targets under shield buffs. That would have been way better, you know. Maybe they can patch it down the line, but I feel like that would have made it a lot better, man. So yeah, where are we at right now with Lonatharil? I feel like he's okay for end game players like myself. If we're looking for another ally attack champ, you know, most people, a lot of end game players like myself, have already gotten Krila, who was a fusion champ. You know, you've probably pulled Farrakhan, which is an epic, amazing fusion, amazing ally attack champ. And in my case, I pulled Longbeard recently. You know, so it can happen that you already have a lot of ally attack champs. I might end up just pulling him for my account, just as kind of like a showcase thing. I have a backlog of fusion champs that I haven't really brought up yet, but I've participated for the content. And I feel like Lonatharil is not their best foot forward, unfortunately, for this hybrid type fusion event. So I would think most people would probably stay home on this one. Maybe get a couple of epics, right? Actually, the thing you should do, all right, look at me. Check this out. The epics are actually fragment summons, right? So because they are fragment summons, you get where I'm going with this, right? You get to save them for the next fusion event, right? So can you imagine if they do another Helicat type champ soon, and you have 500 points saved up from the epics that you can get here, practically for free, because these are just things you do daily anyway, right? And they're outside of the game. So that would be my suggestion on how to go about this as an F2P low spender, is that you get those epics and you just keep them away. That's a free 500 points when you need them for a great fusion, because a great fusion is coming. That's just the way raid works. They can't keep running like B tier, A minus tier epics, fusion champs, because people want to play in fusion events, right? Because that is a way for people to get control of their account and direct their luck. So people that played for Helicat, right, and you're kind of still reeling from that event, not enough shards, not enough gems, this is a great time. If you skipped during last month, and you can skip Lonatharil this month, but you can get these two epics, who are the ones that you can get outside of the shard events, the summon events. I think that is the best thing to do with like a newer account that has Helicat right now. Or even if you barely missed Helicat, you could probably start saving up right now for resources for the next one. So this is a good time to get a free 500 points for the next champ chase event. And then I'll see you guys next time. Yeah? Bye.